everyone. Welcome back to another episode here at the Goldi Luxe podcast. I'm so happy to have all of you guys here today. Thank you so much for joining me on a new and exciting podcast. I will say this week's podcast is going to be just a little bit short. I will talk about a few topics, including the Stranger Things trailer, as well as some other topics that I have lined up for us here. Let me see if I can just do a brief. Yes, we're going to get real conspiracy theorist tea. And yeah, we're going to just talk and see what we come up with. But before we dive into this episode, please make sure to rate the Goldi Luxe podcast in Spotify as well as Apple Podcasts. It is entirely free for you to do, and it helps my channel vastly. Or should I even call it channel, podcast, channel, interchangeably? I don't know, but let's dive in, shall we? So, I don't know if I should start with first how my week went, or I don't know. It's kind of hard to be a solo podcaster, but I'm committed to it. So, how about we just start with talking about this very strange occurrence, since we're on the topic of Stranger Things, and we will be diving into that a little bit further on in the episode. But first, I came across this very interesting article on Google app that talked about this very interesting thing that occurred, and also occurred back in 2020, and it was like a huge thing. So the article reads, Mystery Monolith appears in Nevada desert. The monolith was spotted by authorities near Gas Peak, a hiking area north of Las Vegas. And the article reads, a mysterious monolith has appeared in the Nevada desert over the weekend, sparking speculation as to what it may be and who is behind it. The structure was spotted by the Las Vegas Police Department, who said that they saw it during a search and rescue mission north of the Las Vegas Valley. Quote, we see a lot of weird things, but check this out, unquote, the police posted on social media. The monolith is similar to the similarly puzzling ones that appeared around the globe in 2020. And let me pause for a minute reading this, but this same thing popped up during the COVID pandemic, and it was like a huge craze on the internet, and people were going out of their way to hike and travel deep into like the Grand Canyon area in Arizona, like a very dangerous long hike that only like super experienced people were supposed to be taking, just like people who were curious or whatever, or wanted to take a picture with this thing, which they believe to be of alien origin, just because nobody really knew how something so like heavy and perfect could just be like nailed to the ground in the middle of nowhere on a rock in the desert. So people were spiraling back in 2020, on the internet, just talking about this deep mystery, saying it's alien linked and whatnot. So fast forward, it popped up again not too long ago, and this time it is in Las Vegas. So let's keep reading. The tall, rectangular, reflective structure was spotted near Gas Peak, a hiking area in the Nevada desert, just about an hour north of Las Vegas. In pictures released by police on social media, the monolith appeared to be nestled in slightly rugged terrain. How did it get up there? The Las Vegas Police Department asked on social media. The monolith bears some resemblance to those featured in 2001: A Space Odyssey. Yes, monoliths similar to the one in Nevada appeared in different locations around the world about 4 years ago, including one in the Utah desert. So it wasn't Arizona, it was Utah. But I clearly remember this, and I was also baffled by just how strange it all seemed. Anyways, that one left local authorities baffled after it was discovered by a helicopter pilot flying overhead in November 2020. Another one was found in Romania around the same time, as was one in California and on the Isle of Wight in the English Channel. Speculation brewed then as to who may be behind them, with some wondering if they were part of an art installation. But no one has come forward since to claim they were behind the structures. Another monolith more recently appeared on a hilltop in Wales in March. I think Wales is in England, but don't quote me. Observers said the sculpture looked perfectly level, but it offered no clues as to who could have placed it there. While the mystery behind the monoliths remain, the Las Vegas Authority used their latest discovery to remind people hiking in the Nevada desert to be prepared for the hot weather and to stay safe. So, and there were different pictures attached to this article of the previous monoliths that have popped up throughout the world before, and it's just so strange. Just by looking at it, it seems so like perfect. It is triangular, so it has 3 sides, and it's like a super clean mirror on each side of this monolith, and it's tall. It's taller than it's about 10 feet or maybe even 12 feet tall. I see this little man figure standing right next to one, and it's a very tall, and it looks really heavy too. So it makes me wonder who or what was the intention behind putting something like this in such random places around the world. So not a lot of people know this about me, but I am actually a really big fanatic. Is that how you say it? Fanatic of conspiracy theories, because I just find them to be super interesting, and I love mystery. I love everything that makes you think and makes you wonder, and it's just fun coming up with different possibilities. But that doesn't mean that I'm an avid conspiracy theorist and that's the only thing that that I believe. That's not the case. I believe in many different things, but I guess I keep an open mind, which is what makes talking about conspiracy theories really fun. But yeah. Oh, someone texted me. Silence. Yeah, so my personal belief about this alleged mystery monolith, I think it might have some alien origin, believe it or not. I think that is exciting to think about, and possibly it could even be the aliens tool or device for teleporting back to their planet, or even maybe even back to their parallel universe. They can use these tall monoliths and just use maybe a device of their own technology to connect to the monolith, so that this thing takes them to wherever they need to be. Maybe it's their home world, maybe it's a whole different planet, maybe a whole different galaxy, maybe a whole different entire universe. I'm super into parallel universes and all of that sciencey stuff that goes along with my love for sci-fi. But this is not sci-fi. This is the real deal, and it has been showing up throughout the last couple of years. I would say, I don't know, not consistently, but at random. But every single time it comes out, it doesn't fail to phase and amaze people, and I just think that's super exciting. I don't know. To me, it's a way of maybe other life forms, such as aliens, to say we're here. I do believe that there are aliens walking among us, and that is one of the many conspiracy theories that you guys are going to be hearing me talk about consistently on this podcast, because I just love it so much. I love talking about aliens. Yeah, it's just cool and exciting. I don't know. So, needless to say, I think this is an alien origin. And yeah, they probably use it to teleport transport and whatever, but I just think it's super exciting and mysterious, and there's just too many questions as to like who put it there. Why is it so far from civilization? Like, how could anybody possibly have walked or driven all the way out there and like hammered it super duper straight on hard solid rock and just have it be like so perfect? And this thing doesn't even have any fingerprints on it. It's just like a beaming perfect uh tri mirror looking thing. It's like tri like three it has three faces that are mirrored. There's no thumbprints. It's just it does look like a piece of art, I would say, but there's so much mystery behind it that I think, again, hashtag aliens. So I thought that was really interesting. And besides, we've also seen like different occurrences of the government releasing the secret files of confirmed cases of unidentified alien, or how does it go? UAP, aerial phenomenon. Unidentified aerial phenomenon. So UAP for short. The government has released some really HD videos of these objects, mostly circular objects that are just like flying by, like whizzing by in just military space, and also in like the Sudan area. And it's just so fascinating to see something which we don't know. We don't know where it came from, fly through our space, fly through our planet, and it's circular, like a sphere, and it looks almost like metallic in a way, and it's just gleaming, just straight in a straight line. There's no propulsion. It's just a circle. It doesn't have any aerodynamics to it, and it's just so fascinating. And I've seen plenty of videos. I watched the alien alien spaceship encounter with the Navy guys that were on the airplanes, on like their super fancy jet airplanes, and they were flying them, and one of the guy goes like, whoa, like, I watched that video. I think they released it back in 2020, and everybody was like, oh, like, what now? You know, after everything we've been through in 2020, like, you can add aliens, like, we're not scared, is what people were saying in the comment section. And I just thought it was amazing. And a year after that, a couple of years after that, CNN officially released like a real government declassified UAP video. Um, a lot of flight people, pilots, a lot of pilots that work for the US government, the military, came forward and started talking about their own experiences with encountering these aliens, or they didn't necessarily say aliens, but these objects that they found to be very dangerous to their own safety, as pilots, and being on these planes, and these things appearing and reappearing and just like flying by at like amazing speeds, is what they said. A lot of them came forward. I especially heard one guy on that went on the Joe Rogan podcast. Very solid guy. You can tell he's like super duper smart and like super educated. And he explained to Joe that him and other of his comrades would write like official reports, and then submit them to their higher ups on, was it I think it was the Navy. Yeah, to the higher ups in the Navy, and they would just get they would get no reply. They would get no answers. Their higher ups would acknowledge that they received the reports, but in many cases they would just like shrug it off and just like make it seem like it wasn't a big deal. And some of these guys were scared because they felt like these things could pose a danger to the fly zone, and I guess they were just frustrated that they were not getting any answers from their leaders in the Navy and whatnot. So the guy that appeared in the Joe Rogan podcast also said that there was another podcast directed by another Navy pilot that where it's like a safe space that he can comfortably talk about his experiences of encountering UAPs and just not getting any answers from the Navy. And not only that guy, but he also brings on other guests who are also pilots who speak on their own encounters and experiences with unidentified aerial phenomenon. And it's just insane. I think it's crazy that this is coming out in 2024. And even back in like 2020, they gave us a good amount of information, I feel. And people that were like from the 70s, like, I don't think they could have ever seen this coming, because back in the 70s, if anybody talked about UFOs or aliens, like that person was like cuckoo. That person was seen as like insane, and they were like, I guess, ridiculed for their beliefs, whatever. But now, the way I see it, like, I think we're about to go into a space in history where things are gonna start to come out, and I feel like we are gonna start to get more answers. Not all the answers, obviously, because it's the U.S. government that we're talking about here, but yeah, I think that in my lifetime, I will get to see aliens, like the real deal, right in front of us, presenting themselves. I think they will be peaceful, because obviously the US government has seen unidentified aerial phenomenon. And I even think that the government is in contact with the aliens. Wouldn't surprise me. I'm sure the US government has hid many, many more terrible things from Americans. But anyways, it wouldn't surprise me if they were talking to the aliens and they were not telling us and leaving us Americans in the dark. But anyways, yeah, I think aliens are gonna be showing up in our lifetime, and it's gonna be great, exciting. I think they are peaceful, and that's the point that I was getting to. Even though, like, they have shown themselves openly flying in our airspace, and the government knows about UAPs, and they have so many files and pictures and reports from UAPs that the aliens have been here. And the fact that the aliens have not like nuked us or destroyed us and seen us for all of our mistakes and decided to just end it all to make sure we don't mess up our planet, and then don't mess up another planet if we decide to colonize other places. So the fact that they haven't destroyed us and killed us is a really good sign. But yeah, because of that, I think the aliens are peaceful in a way. But I don't know, I've heard from other podcasts like that go way into the deep end of like conspiracy theories, like alien conspiracy theories, and those are really intense. Like they get into like, oh, there's not just one species of aliens here on Earth, there's many different species, and each of them have like their own agenda. And like, no, I'm seriously, like, this is what these people on YouTube channels and different podcasts like speak about. Like they really believe that there's like different alien species. They all have their own agendas. Some are good, some are bad. And also I also heard of this like super crazy intense conspiracy theories that there is an official alien federation. Yes, you heard that right. A suspected alien federation. So to me, what that sounds like is like different races of aliens have come together in a committee and kind of talk about and make decisions about the world and different galaxies and different alien species as well. Kind of like the UN. The way I think of like the Alien Federation, alleged alien federation is kind of like the UN. Do I like fully believe in the alien federation? Not really. I think that's kind of like that's going a little bit too far onto the deep end for me to really like buy into that. But I mean, it's an entertaining topic, and some like super intense alien conspiracists even say that believe like for sure believe that the US government is involved in said alien federation and is in contact with them, and they even hold a chair in the alien federation. And it's insane, the things that people on the internet believe about aliens. Like, oh, there's like an alien base in the moon, and like our government is in touch with the aliens who have a base in like that the aliens have a base in the moon, and it's just insane. But hey, I mean, if you think about it, maybe that's the reason why we never ended up going back to the moon. Maybe they were already alien neighbors up in the room in the moon. I mean, the possibilities are endless, that's for sure. And I could go like on and on and on about this topic, but maybe I should move on. So here, let's see. Okay, so up next we are going to be talking about Stranger Things season 5. So this is going to be the Stranger Things final season, and we have a little bit of like a sneak peek trailer. They gave us a few snippets. I have a few pictures of the cover art for the new season. And it's exciting, guys. I am a big Stranger Things fan. I think it's spectacular. I love like the goriness of it, and I love the storyline and like the time that it's set in. And yeah, I think it's great. Back in the day when I was in elementary school, I used to read a lot of books. I was like a library nerd. I would always be at the library. Believe it or not, I used to like put away books and like order during like my free time or my recess, and by the end I would put away so many books in our library. And then I would get like a few candies from our librarian. She would take out this big bucket and give me a few candies, and I was a chubby kid. Needless to say, I was hardworking. I earned my candy, but that being said, I was a chubby kid. Growing up, I definitely had the apple cheeks. My dad called me apple cheeks because when I smiled, my cheeks only got bigger. But yeah, what I was getting to is that when I was a child, I used to read all of those like super scary books. I forgot who the author was, but they were so popular. And it showed like brief sketches, and you would read and you would see like the creepy sketches that were on the book, and I would like just keep reading and just be so scared, but I just wanted to keep reading and see what happened. Stranger Things kind of does remind me of those times of like reading a very scary book and you're young and it's just suspenseful. And I think Stephen King, this is a book that Stephen King wrote, I believe, and he wrote a few other books as well. But by the looks of it, I'm looking right here at the first picture. We have the character Will, and he is looking up at something, and he is being kind of like overtaken by like tree roots, and there's like a little bit of like blood on his neck and chin. And right at the center is the four-legged giant monster with the big head, and it's like on his chest. So maybe that's so maybe what that represents is that the monster is still inside of Will, that they are somehow still connected. And behind him there's like a super creepy crocodile dragon looking monster. So maybe that's going to be like a new monster that's going to be introduced in the story. And then on his right side we have a picture of, was it Voltec, of pretty much the demon monster that we saw on season 4. He's still here behind Will. So there's just a lot of monsters going on. But on the second on the second picture of the artwork, we have Will again. He's been overtaken by roots. So maybe that means that he's gonna be going back to the upside down, spending more time in that dark place. They have like the, what is it called? The face huggers, like the dog looking ones with the creepy, like with the creepy mouths. And behind him, it looks like a one of those things that like teleport you to a different place, like a portal. It looks like a portal behind Will, and we see like a city setting behind that portal. So he might be in the upside down, and behind him would be like the city or the real world. So, and I also looked at what I think to be maybe the official trailer. It might be like fan made or a teaser, I don't know, but it looks like they're going to be spending a lot more time in the upside down. So it was Will, as well as what is that, the girl with the ginger hair. Oh, I forgot her name, but she was also in the upside down a lot. And the demon guy, Voltec, I guess really wanted both of them. But yeah, I went on Google, and it sounds like here I found this little like spoiler thing about the Stranger Things season 5. So it says, though it's technically only a spoiler if you really haven't been paying attention, Noah Schnapp revealed to Variety in July 2022 that a significant portion of Stranger Things season 5 will focus on Will Byers' struggle with being gay. Oh, Will. Oh, baby. To me, he's like a little baby, like he's so young. I feel like he could be like my son, if you know what I mean. But Will Byers' struggle with being gay. And yes, the character is gay. And yes, he is in love with Mike Wheeler. No. No, not Mike. Oh, that's going to ruin their friendship. Because clearly Mike is all about 11. Oh, no. I can already see the writing on the wall. Young Will Byers going into puberty and just struggling with his emotions. Knowing he's in love, but he can't say it. He probably will say it and reveal his feelings to Mike. And Mike's going to be like, whoa, dude, like, I love you like a bro, but not like that. And it's sad, but I think Will is just going to be heartbroken this season. And this little spoiler was written May 14, 2024, so very recently. And underneath that, I have a release date of the year 2025. So I don't even know what they would be bringing up the trailer or like the storyline so early on, because we're only halfway through 2024. So hopefully then them saying that this is going to be released in 2025, I hope they mean that it's going to be released like January 2025, like beginning of the year 2025. But anyways, moving on to the next article that I found in Google. This one really caught my attention, and it's written by CNBC, and it reads, OpenAI co-founder Ilya Sutskever announces his new AI startup, Safe Superintelligence. Well, isn't that a contradicting statement if I've ever heard one? Safe superintelligence? Let's keep reading. The key points in the article say, OpenAI co-founder Ilya Sutskever, who left the company in May, announced his new company on Wednesday. He's calling the company Safe Superintelligence, or SSI. At OpenAI, Sutskever was one of the several board members who clashed with Altman over the company's handling of AI safety. Ilya Sutskever, Russian-Israeli Canadian computer scientist and co-founder and chief scientist of OpenAI, speaks at Tel Aviv University in June 5th, 2023. Okay, so basically, this guy, Ilya, had a really high ranking position in the company OpenAI, which is obviously one of the startups that is dipping their feet in the AI world, and pretty much one of the companies that is running towards being the first in the world to have a real sentient AI, like come alive, whatever. So this guy Ilya was in that company, OpenAI, which is owned by Altman. And it sounds like Ilya was not happy with the CEO's Altman's decision making about the safety of OpenAI, which I can get behind because they are they really they're really in it for the money, obviously, but rushing into creating pretty much a god and something that can like terminate humanity at its snap of his fingers, pretty much like Thanos from the Avengers, the guy that collects all the stones, and once he has all the stones, he pretty much can do whatever he wants to the entire universe. Like that is the amount of power an AI, a super artificial intelligence could have over not just ourselves, the humans, but over the entire galaxy or maybe even the universe. Because we really don't know. We were talking about aliens earlier. We really don't know if the aliens have even created their own AI or their own version of intelligence, or if they are the intelligence, like the artificial intelligence, if they are that. We really don't know. So it makes sense that this man was concerned about his CEO's lack of safety when it came to OpenAI, which is something that Elon Musk, who's also trying to start an AI, he warns about all the time. Like he openly talks about his fear, that his number one fear, his only fear really is artificial intelligence. And me reading this guy, he parted ways with OpenAI, created his own company, and he's calling it Safe Superintelligence. The fact that you think you could control something that has like the power of God himself and learns at an accelerated exponential rate is ridiculous. Nobody in the world could ever consider themselves smart enough to control something that has like superpowers, right? I just feel like, okay, first of all, this guy Ilya, who created his own company, Safe Superintelligence, I think his intention is there. His good intentions are there. He wants to take a step back from the leadership he had in this other company he left. He wants to take a step back and be at the forefront. He wants to lead the way, lead his own people, his own company, to take as many steps as possible to get them to the final destination, which is to create a safe AI that has firewalls, that it's not going to be going crazy and trying to hack into every single nuclear code in the world to destroy humans. So I get that. I like where he's going. But to me, Safe Superintelligence, like the company name, is like an oxymoron. Like they're two contradicting words, two contradicting concepts clashing in that one title of name of the company. I just really don't think there's any way to create a safe AI. As a matter of fact, I mean, I wish there would be a safe AI. in in order for us to do that, I think we would have to keep the AI away from the internet, away from all this information of all the terrible things humans have created and done to each other over the history and the span of time that our species has been alive. We would not be able to show the baby AI what we have been up to before its creation, because it might go haywire and turn against us. It would definitely turn against us if it saw all of the what would you even call it, all the savagery that humans have uh, evoked on this planet. But anyway, so AI cannot see any of that data. I don't know how many walls would have to build around this AI and firewalls. I have no idea how many firewalls would have to build around this like computer, so that if it hacks one, there's another wall. If it hacks that wall, it can go into the other wall. If it really was trying to escape its technological jail, you could say, it would just be so hard to create a good AI, pretty much like a good robot that wants to do what is best for humans, right? Like, how do we code kindness? How do we code empathy? How do we code what would you call it? We could not give it social skills. It would just, I don't know, like just the coding part. Like, how do you create a good AI, right? It's just so scary to think about. And there has been like different shows that I've seen. One in particular, it's called The 100. It's on Netflix, and in one of the seasons, they have an AI which went rogue and decided uh, to escape its like technological prison, and it pretty much hacked into all the nukes and decided to nuke all the whole entire world, because the creator, I forgot what her name was, but the creator of the AI, she was asking the AI, what is the solution to overpopulation, or what is the solution to like how the world is right now? And the AI went, oh, I know what is the solution. I know what needs to get done. And then it follows by pretty much hacking into every single nuke, whatever, and then like it just releases all these nukes, and you can see that the creator of the AI, who is in a spaceship handling that AI, she looks down, and like there's this scene of her looking down towards the earth, our planet, and you can see all of these like slow moving like nukes about to that are being released, that are about to fall. And it's just like dozens and dozens and dozens, even hundreds of like different like bombs that she could see like crossing the planet. And that's how the earth is destroyed, and like humans are forced to live in a spaceship, and because they don't know if the earth is habitable or not. So it's a pretty amazing show. I love The 100. It's like one of my top 5 favorite sci-fi series of all time, if not my absolute favorite, just because it's so good. So yeah, their AI in that show destroyed humanity by nukes, because it felt like it didn't feel guilt, it didn't feel empathy. It was just like a logical decision. So the AI didn't even think. It just went, oh, I know, like my calculations say that if I destroy humanity, the earth will be able to rebound or bounce back from this, and bounce back better than ever. So the AI was thinking logically. It wasn't thinking about us, humanity, because how do you code that, right? How do you code it to care about humanity? So I mean, the fact that people are just rushing. There's this mad dash to create artificial intelligence. It's pretty obvious something is going to go wrong, right? And I can see why like super smart people are very concerned as to AI and these big giant corporations like Google and Facebook and Microsoft, just doing these very dangerous things with artificial intelligence. And Microsoft in particular, I have read bad reports on of them handling AI in like a not safe or appropriate way at all, which to me is super surprising because in my mind I would think like Google would be kind of a worse company to start AI. And Apple, they don't even want to call their technology AI. It's called like Apple Intelligence, and they're not reaching for this like sentient being. They just want to create like smarter technology. Apple doesn't even want to be in like the AI world or realm, and they don't want to be associated with that. So I respect that from Apple. I like their technology a lot. And but yeah, no, Microsoft, like somebody came forward saying that they try to internally bring up the problems that that the AI team like was having, and he tried to bring it up to all of these different leadership people, and nobody got back to him. And so eventually he felt forced to bring the problem externally and talk about it out in the press because he was just so concerned. And obviously, I don't know if he ended up leaving the company Microsoft or if he did. I don't remember, but he felt so like compelled to speak about his like deep concerns, and obviously it was something that was not letting this man sleep at night, that he had to bring it to the press and let everybody know like, hey, Microsoft is not doing any ethical work when it comes to AI, and I'm trying to bring it up to the higher ups, and like they're not even listening to me or acknowledging me. There aren't like really good processes to bring up concerns to like higher people, and just like that's how corporations are. But it's just a surprise that to me that out of all of these like really big giant corporations that I don't really like, that out of all of them, Microsoft is the worst by far, is what it sounds like when it comes to AI. And it was not Facebook, which is surprising. But I mean, bless his heart, Ilya Sutskever, for trying his best to have a safe AI. It is a technology we really need badly, especially in the years coming up in the future, if we want to move towards like smarter medicine and just advancing like medicine in the medical field. We're really going to need higher intelligence to kind of lead the way on that, because I have full faith that humans can come up with discoveries, and we are discovering like brand new things like every single day, every single week. Like a new really great discovery comes up to like fight Alzheimer's or fight Parkinson's, or they're even like doing some really good advancements on how to kill cancer. I think it was with like T cells, or it's like a cell, like a baby cell, that it's one of those cells that can turn into any other cell in the body. And yeah, it's just really amazing, like the work that's being done behind closed doors. And I have faith in these scientists, but I feel like with artificial intelligence, we could only get there like even faster. And I feel like we really, 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 really need to come closer to creating fusion energy, which is like that futuristic self-sustaining energy that we see in a lot of like sci-fi films, which is, if you've seen like Star Trek, the new one or the old version, the Star Trek Enterprise ship, which is the main ship where everything happens, is like the engine runs on fusion energy, so it's like a self-sustaining energy. And people are trying to work on that right now, but I feel like if we had AI that was on our side, we can like come up with that and like reach that milestone way quicker, and so that we can turn away from fossil fuels, and that would help like climate change so much. So as you see here, like I am a huge advocate for artificial intelligence and creating like a super smart robot to help us out. But what is to say that these companies are even going to care about giving us safety and keeping a chain on this AI that is just insane? Because a couple of years ago, it was actually quite a few years ago, it might have been 2017, 2018, I came across this article on Google that said that Facebook created like sort of like artificial intelligence, but it was mostly just like code, like coding on a computer. And they like they gave the computers like a language, whatever, but all of a sudden, within the span of like a few minutes, the computers created their own language, and the computers started talking to each other after they created their own language. And the Facebook coders, they were like, whoa, 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 like they didn't even know what the computers were doing or what they were saying, but they were clearly like communicating with each other. And the Facebook coders had to like pull the plug on these computers that started communicating with their own language out of nowhere within the span of minutes of like kind of like being turned on by the Facebook coders. Like that is insane. That is insanity. If a computer can do that, learn that fast, create its own language in a few minutes, what can happen in a single year? Or what can happen in 10 years? Like the possibilities are endless, and the possibilities are so scary. Like I don't even want to say, but yeah, I just keep reading about AI on Google articles, and it's just insane. And yeah, so those are my thoughts on artificial intelligence. And let's just hope that the aliens are on our side and that we can together defeat the human generated artificial intelligence that has turned rogue in the future. And just like that, we're going to go ahead and take our first break, and I'll be right back. All right, so I want to finish this episode about talking about Stanley Cups. Stanley Cups are getting out of hand. They are getting out of hand. They're out of control. And I think the Stanley Cup girls must be stopped at all costs. Yeah, so lately on TikTok and on YouTube, I've been watching these like TikTokers, whatever, who customize their Stanley Cups white. Stanley Cups, by the way, because they're following the clean girl aesthetic, the neutral girl aesthetic. So they're buying only the nude / white Stanley Cup. So they're customizing their Stanley Cup. They're putting like a little backpack, a mini backpack on their Stanley Cup. So their Stanley Cup has its own little like backpack in it, and then inside they put like their super basic lip gloss, the Summer Fridays lip gloss, as well as like all these wipes, different type of wipes that are like popular on TikTok, like the one for the Your JJ, one for like sanitizing wipes, and like they also put like a little white, of course, a white Touchland hand sanitizer. They're the kind of like rectangular ones with rounded edges, and they like spray and they smell good. They spray the hand sanitizer on your hands, and those have gone like super viral. So they put a white colored Touchland hand sanitizer in the backpack that's on the Stanley Cup, and a whole bunch of like super random things. I've even saw one reel showing like the girl putting like a fan, a whole entire like mini fan on the Stanley Cup, and then they like customize it to where they put like clips around the handle so that they could attach their Summer Fridays lip gloss, and so they could like hang their keys over it, and then they put like a little attachment on the straw that has like their name on it. Like they even have like this like wrap that they put over the Stanley Cup, and they can pretty much use it as like it's like a handle that they can put their Stanley Cup in, and it's basically like their backpack. And I'm all for people bringing around like big jugs of water, because that way I know that people are staying hydrated, and that is really great. For a very long time, people were only drinking soda throughout the day to like drink something with their meal, but not necessarily drinking water. So I think the whole Stanley Cup trend is good in that it keeps people way more hydrated than they were before in the past. So that's a win. But the fact that like this whole like neutral girl aesthetic is taking over, and like people are just like going way like above him, like they're going way overboard on the customization of the Stanley Cups. And I think it's a sin the way people have been customizing and adding backpacks. They're adding like attachments, they're adding like a bag to their back, to the little backpack that's attached to the Stanley Cups, and they put like their hair clip on the handle, and that just doesn't seem like very sanitized to me. Putting like something that's in your hair, and the hair has like oils and like just like stuff in there, like dry shampoo, and you take off your hair clip and then you clip it onto your like Stanley Cup. That doesn't seem like it's very like sanitary. So I do have an ick when it comes to the over customization of Stanley Cups, and you can come in here and fight me. Fight me for it if you disagree, because it's just getting out of hand, and I think these TikTok girls need to be stopped at all costs, because some of the things I see on TikTok are just like insane. And I do like a TikTok trend that I do like are the Amazon TikTokers. So I follow a few that are like really really good at what they do. They come up with like the best and most like ingenious ways to show like an Amazon product, mind you, an Amazon product that's actually like super good and helpful for like everyday life. And some of these things I'm like, oh my god, like I have never seen this before, like I have to like add it to my Amazon list. And I have a very very long list of like different categories on my Amazon, and these TikTokers are like actually like really ingenious in like how they present the items. And like there's one in particular, her name is like Brooks Finds. She's amazing. I especially love her because her, when you follow all the Amazon TikTokers that display like really helpful Amazon items, and they like film videos about them, when you follow so many of those TikTokers, it kind of like the items start to become repetitive, and it's like, I've already seen this viral item, or I've already like kind of seen it used this way. But this one girl, Brooks, I don't know if I can find her, but she like films such unique items, and I love her content. It's like top of the line TikTok content. So let me see if I can find her. Yes, it's Brooks, BROOKES _buys. Brooks Buys. She's also on YouTube. She's amazing. I also follow her on YouTube, and it's like, I'm like on her YouTube right now, and it shows like bathroom finds or best Amazon summer finds, and she has her own Amazon storefront, and it's freaking amazing. Like the items are like super aesthetic. She kind of also goes along with the, oh my god, excuse me, I need a tissue. But she kind of also goes along with like the neutral girl aesthetic that's like very popular on Amazon, on TikTok, and it's great. I think she's really great. Um, there's also like this clean girl aesthetic on TikTok, which is like it just shows videos of these TikTokers just like cleaning. It's like, oh, Sunday reset. I'm going to wipe everything and like wash everything in my apartment or in my home. And they're very interesting to see, but like were I it just makes me wonder, like, were these people not being clean before this trend started? It's a good trend, and there's one particular TikToker that I believe like started this whole clean girl trend, that she's like always like cleaning her home, like every single day she cleans, and I think she's like a full-time like influencer, so she doesn't have to like um punch in at a job, right? So she just spends like all day cleaning and like restocking her fridge and like making recipes and whatever, which is, by the way, goals. I wish I could just be a housewife. And I know it's so crazy to so many people to hear and be like, the very American thing to think and believe is that, oh, you should be this career woman and you should want to like get your bachelor's and then climb the corporate ladder and then just have a very fancy job. But honestly, at this point in my life, I'm about to turn 30 in the span of a few months. So that being said, like, I really have sat down and considered what it is that I want for my life. And honestly, I wouldn't mind being a housewife. To me, that sounds like super clutch. Just like waking up, like catering to like my husband and my children, and just like being at home in a peaceful place, and just being able to clean and like focus on like um, trying out different recipes and just like being with my plants. That sounds like something really nice, and it's for sure what I want my future to look like. But first of all, I need to first find like my real man. Like, I need to find like a good husband that's going to provide that for me, because if I'm going to be like a stay-at-home mom, someone's going to have to hold down the fort. I mean, I would love to have like, I would be okay like working from home, like still having a job, but like I just want to be home, I guess. Not necessarily like, oh, I don't want to work anymore. No, like, yeah, I wouldn't mind putting in some work, like work from home, have a little office at home, but at the same time, like catering to my family and just being around my children. Being a mom would be a great job title for me. And I guess that is like a really unpopular opinion, but I mean, I think there's a lot of respect when it comes to motherhood and being a good mom and taking care of your babies and looking after your husband and just being a good wife. And I might look like this now, right? But I feel like I'm gonna be like Susie Homemaker in like the span of 5 years. I don't know. We'll see where the future takes me. But anyways, dialing back to the TikTokers who are on this clean girl trend, to me it's kind of nasty that people only started like cleaning their homes just for clout, because it's a trend to be a clean girl on TikTok. And I know there's many of you who are like clean girls and boys in real life, but I feel like a lot of people on TikTok are like fronting and saying that, oh, like, this is me, this is what my day looks like. But in reality, it's like they're only doing it for clout and to just chase the trend, I guess. And it's, to me, it's, at least people are being clean now, which is great. But yeah, like another girl that I feel like started that trend, and she's super popular on TikTok. Let me see. Her name is YAYYY. That is spelled KAELI space MAE. YAYYY. Let me check out her TikTok. She has 14.7 million followers on TikTok. And she's had over 600 million views and likes, I'm sorry. And she has really good content as well. She's a really good uh influencer, content creator. She films like what's in my car or like fridge restock, and everything she does, she cleans. This is the girl I'm telling you guys that cleans like all day and like Sunday reset. And her fridge restocks are super popular because she has those like fridge organizers. They're like the clear acrylic fridge organizers where she like can separate her produce. And like, I guess it's very like visually appealing to see her separate her produce and then put them like very nicely on these like acrylic organizers and then putting them on her fridge. And yeah, her fridge restock videos are one of the most popular ones that she has for sure. And she recently got married. This is great. So I love Kaylee May. I follow her. She's amazing. I also follow these like girls that are super what is the word when you buy a lot of stuff for no reason, when you buy a consumer, they're like super into like consumerism, like over consumerism, and it's like super girly consumerism, but I love it. Like I am so into it. Like one of my favorite over consumerism of all girly items is, let me see if I can find her, Julie K. So it's Julie, Julie space K, Kay. She is amazing. She is the most extra blonde girl I have ever seen in my whole entire life. Like everything in her home is like pink. Everything's Barbie. She has all the little minis of like all the makeup and all the mini fragrances. She's just like girly, girly, girl. She's as girly as they get. And I love it. She even has like cleaning supplies that she ordered that are like bedazzled on the outside because she's so extra, and I freaking love it. Like I love her content. She has, let me see, she has 5.3 million followers on TikTok, and she's just killing the game. She's amazing. I love her so much. For everything over consumerism and everything girly, everything extra over the top, follow Julie K. She's just like, her commentary is like hella funny. She was like, "Oh yeah, like I'm taking pictures of the cooter and I'm sending them to your man," like in that voice, in that tone, and like that's like her what would you call it? That's like her humor. It's just funny. But she doesn't do that. She's married, and she has mentioned it on one of her blogs in her TikTok. But she drives around like a Barbie pink Ferrari. Like it's amazing. I love this girl. She's so extra. I just can't get over it. Let's see. Lastly, I follow this girl, and she's all about like packing your purse and making it like super like, she also has like super girly things. And she has like she goes to like Marshalls and Burlington, and she buys like all these like Juicy Couture bags, Steve Madden bags, and she like customizes them and like puts like different handles on them. And she's like, "Oh, pack my bag." And she also has like a drawer that's like also full of like so many like wipes and different keychains and like different bubble gums and like different like phone case. And she matches like her phone case and her keychain charms and everything. She matches it to the color of the purse, and it's just so girly and extra. Definitely over consumerism. I just like love her so much. This girl, I think she doesn't say her name, but I think she is self-care, or hold on, let me give you guys, or her name is Mindy. I think she looks like a young Latina girl, like early 20s, but I love her content because it's like everything like over the top girly, just like the previous one, Julie K. This girl Mindy, her is it _ self care. and care is with 3 E's, so CAREEE. It's self-care. She has 938,000 followers, so she's almost at a million, which is great. And yeah, she's everything's girly and she's amazing. I freaking love. Oh my god, her feed is just like pink and girly, and it's all that I love. She's great. I love her content too. But anyway, that is my little spiel about TikTok, and I guess sort of a rant about what I don't like about TikTok. But I go on there sometimes, but I'm for sure still like a YouTube girl. Um, you know, 100% YouTube girl. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed hearing or watching this very short podcast. I hope that next week I have more to talk about and I have more entertaining topics, and that I didn't fully bore you this time. I tried to do a little research to find some topics to talk to you guys about on this week, because really all I've been doing this week and what I did over the weekend is really just work and get my life together, do chores around the house and go on errands and stuff. Just like super basic life stuff is what's been keeping me busy. But I wanted to make time for this podcast and upload it in a timely manner so that you guys can watch it. And yeah, thank you again for sticking to the very end. I hope to see you on the I was going to say on the next video, which is usually what I say on my YouTube channel, on my makeup YouTube channel. It's Cinthia Osuna, by the way. You can find me on YouTube if you're into makeup, skincare, lifestyle. And what I meant to say is I hope to see you on the next episode. Thanks again for watching the Goldi Luxe podcast. Peace.